Hello everyone and welcome to the Mindful Remission Masterclass, the 5-step plan for cancer recovery breakthrough. My name is Avinoam Lerner. I'm excited to have you here with me because what you're going to learn and hear over the next, just about 45 minutes or so will quite certainly inspire you in a whole new kind of way and give you hope. So I invite you to keep your mind open, to let your guard down and really let in some of the critical thinking, thoughts, insights, some of the action steps and the case studies that I will share. They've helped so many patients just like you improve their ability to heal and recover, and I really believe that they can help you do the very same. Okay? So, if you're currently in treatment, struggling with overwhelm, with fear and negativity, or you're dreading what's ahead, be it your next medical appointment, your next procedure or scan, then this masterclass is for you, because that does not have to be your experience. There is a lot that you can do and need to do if you truly want to break through to recovery. Okay? So let's get started and get to the core of it. In the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how to do several things. First, I'm going to show you how you can prevent stress, fear, and despair from crippling your body's innate ability to heal. That's where the journey begins. We'll talk about your emotions, which emotions negatively impact your immune system, and how you can counter their harmful effect with few very simple steps. We'll focus on the role that your mind plays in your journey back to health, right? That's a big role, and what it actually takes for you to initiate what we call the quantum leap forward in your recovery. Then I'll show you what you need to do, which actions you can take to maybe begin to feel or even continue to feel resilient and upbeat so you can actually spend time with your family, enjoy life, and go places or do things stress-free. This will bring us to the missing piece in your treatment plan, the game changer, if you will, which is your mental programming. Your mental programming is the key factor that will allow you to fight this horrible disease in the most efficient way. And last but not least, I'll show you why you absolutely need a clear mental roadmap to recovery if you want to achieve all these goals that I've just mentioned, okay? And I'll even show you how to put one in place. My goal for this masterclass is to offer you a practical, step-by-step strategy to making your medical treatment work for you. Because to get the breakthrough that you desire and not have, just more of the same, sooner or later, you're going to have to do something different, right? That's just common sense. So before we get to define what that something different really is, I want to take a second to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because look, it's only natural for you, for me, for all of us to be skeptical of things that, might feel or sound outside of the mainstream, right? I know that that's the case for me. So let me start by saying that everything you will learn here today is not presented as an alternative for medical care and treatment. Medical treatment often saves lives. That's important to say. What you will learn here today, though, intend to ensure that you get the most out of yours. Secondly, if you're looking for a do-nothing, get-healed kind of an approach, I might as well let you down right at this point, right now, and tell you that healing requires your active participation. That is, if you want to be a part of the solution. And if you feel you still need to be skeptical, which is perfectly fine, I invite you to be skeptical of what's possible for you in terms of healing and recovery. It may be a lot more than you were led to believe. That's all I'm going to say right now. Okay? Good. So now that we are clear on that, I want to ask you a few questions about your current experience, okay? About how you feel right now. So take a deep breath, settle down, try to feel the answer rather than simply think it in your head. And notice if any of the following statements that I'm going to read to you, if any of them resonates with you or sound like you. Are there days, moments in times, where you're so deep in darkness that you feel that it's all for nothing, that there is no hope because nothing will work? Do you tend to blame yourself for this illness? afraid that you're so broken inside that you might have brought this on yourself. Do you secretly fear that you'll have to face all of this alone because, well, you're just too much for others to deal with? Do you feel like you're failing? Failing not only at getting better, but failing your loved ones as well because, well, you're just not like you were before. Do you wake up at night worrying that the whole world keeps on living, moving forward, while you're left behind alone and unable to catch up? Is your mind racing with terrifying scenarios of the future? I'm asking you these questions, I'm checking in with you because if any of this does sound like you, then I have some really good news to share. And the good news is that none of these things that I've just mentioned, none of them is the real problem. These are just the symptoms. The real problem is you haven't taken some crucial steps, which I call the shifts. And we're going to go over each and every one of them in just a second. But for right now, I want you to know this. I want you to know that once you take these steps, once you make these shifts, things will begin to change for the better. Quite rapidly, I might add. For starters, you'll begin to feel more in control and more confident about your recovery. This alone will change your experience for the better. You'll meet treatment challenges successfully, with less fear and less worry because you will actually know what you need to do to counter their effect and even how to do that. You will know how to take better care of yourself. You will have more energy and you will be able to show up, truly show up, as the partner that you wish to be, as the parent that you want to be, and even as the person that you need to be. You will no longer wake up with that huge wave of anxiety every morning, like with that knot in your stomach, feeling like a sick person. Instead, you will feel maybe for the first time in a long time that you are calling the shots, not the illness. And you will have unshaken certainty in your ability to heal and recover because you will recognize the truth, which is that while you're currently facing cancer, you are not your cancer. A powerful distinction that truly empowers you and changes how you feel. Okay? And again, these things begin to happen quite rapidly when you will make the shift that we'll talk about in a moment. I do, however, want to take a couple of seconds before we dive into these shifts and case studies to introduce myself so that you'll know who I am and why you should even listen to me because, well, we haven't been officially introduced. So, as I've mentioned in the beginning, my name is Avinoam Lerner. I'm a cancer, trauma, and recovery specialist, a published author, TEDx speaker, and an Army veteran. I've been helping patients get better treatment outcome so they can break through to recovery and remission for 20 years now. And through these many years of supporting the cancer community, I've seen clients in every stage of the cancer cycle. I've done programs in hospitals like the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, worked with countless clients in my own practice in support groups, and over time, I started to notice that there's a huge difference in patients' results. There were those patients who've done really well, who were resilient and able to ride through the storm of treatment, those we call exceptional patients. And there were those who didn't, who continued to struggle with fear, with negativity, with self-blame, sometimes shame, guilt, and suffering in general. So over time, I started looking at what those exceptional patients who fared better were doing that others didn't. And I ultimately realized that there are 5 shifts that these amazing patients were going through, 5 shifts that allow them to get better treatment outcomes consistently. The bottom line is that when I began to incorporate these shifts more and more into my practice, my clients started getting better and better results as well, which is why I'm here today sharing this with you, in hope to inspire you, in hope to invite you to take some actions, do something differently. Okay, so here is what you need to know. You need to know that there are 5 key shifts that you must make to optimize your treatment and breakthrough to recovery. I'm going to walk you through all 5 of them right now, starting with this first shift, right? Shift number 1, that recognizes that you can't fight cancer when you're fighting yourself. You can't fight cancer when you're fighting yourself. Now, intuitively, you may already know this to be true, right? I mean, you know that you can't be paralyzed by fear and overwhelm and expect, well, your body's biology to reflect a state of ease or harmony or relaxation or comfort, right? So this is where it all begins. Understanding this statement. Understanding that because illness isn't something that is entirely under our control, it's only normal for us to experience fear, despair, negativity, and overwhelm. It's quite natural for some of us to feel victimized, to feel sad, maybe even helpless. And perhaps for some of you, I'm just saying, it's exactly how you feel right now. No? Well, if this is you, your first action step is to recognize that as long as you perceive illness as a threat, as a terrifying doomsday scenario, if you will, your biology responds accordingly with stress, stress hormones, and stress physiology, which, according to research, well, it shuts down or limit, at least inhibit, the ability of your immune system to do its job, which is to eliminate any abnormalities in the blood. Just think about it. When all of your energy is spent fighting these harmful effects, or if you will, of these toxic emotions, such as stress and negativity and despair and fear, there's little energy left for the healing and repair of the body. Does that make sense? It means that you are, in effect, unintentionally, of course, working against yourself, limiting your ability to properly benefit from medical treatment, any treatment really. It is only when you truly accept that living in these particular harmful emotional states, such as stress and fear and negativity and despair, only when you recognize that these emotional states hurt your recovery, that you can start shifting the way that you view illness from a form of punishment or a threat which results in suffering to a call to action, which is a lot more empowering, right? It's a call for you to assert yourself, assert your personal power as a person, as someone who lives in this body, who is in charge of their experience, the way they think, the way they feel, and what they believe to be true. Because only when you do that, you become a part of the solution. Only then you begin to set a new path forward for yourself and for your body, for your experience. Because, and it's important for me to say, you're not a victim here unless you choose to view yourself as such. This is essentially what this shift is really all about. It's about your mind and your mindset. If your mindset is weak, that means that your body's defense system is weak as well. And nothing will work well until you work well. Does that make sense, guys? If you stake your hope for remission only, on simply submitting your body to treatment, I should say, without shifting your inner experience and asserting your personal power, you may unintentionally kill your chances for success. That is just the truth. And let me know in the comments if that resonates with you, because I know it resonates with many of my clients, but I want to make sure that it resonates with you. Okay? So, having said that, let's move forward, because that's just where our journey begins. And the key to you working well and asserting yourself, right, as I've just mentioned, is your mind. More specifically, your subconscious mind, which is your body's operating system. The key to this significant leap forward in your healing and recovery, the key to asserting your personal power and initiating what we call the quantum leap forward in your recovery, the quantum leap that we're aiming for, the key is within you already, and it's in your subconscious mind. We obviously live in a physical body. That's absolutely true. But you'll probably agree with me that there is more to us than just our physical body, right? We're not just our body. We're not going around saying, I am my hands or my legs or my shoulders. These are just extensions of our physical body. We are in fact by nature both physical and non-physical, and hopefully that's not breaking news to you. In much the same way that our hands and legs represent the physical part of who we are, which is our body. Our thoughts, our feelings, our imagination and creativity, our memories, our hopes and doubts, or let's say reasoning powers like logic, even inspirations or ideas, and the list goes on and on. These are all expressions of who we really are, expressions of the non-physical part of us, right? Better known as either the self or the mind. Think about it. If you cut the body open, God forbid, right? You will not find your thoughts in there. You will not find logic or fear inside of you. And yet, all of these non-physical aspects that I've just mentioned, they do, whether we acknowledge it or not, they do impact our experience and our biology. And now that you know that, if you still need more, here is possibly what you've been missing all along. You need to know that within you, there is a powerful resource that you have not tapped into yet. An ally, if you will, called the subconscious mind. It is the part of your mind that governs many of your bodily functions. For example, your digestion, your body temperature, even your heartbeat, all of which you have no conscious control of, right? It's really quite miraculous when we think about it. More relevant to what we're talking about here, though, the subconscious mind is also the part of your mind that throughout your life have healed your scrapes and your wounds and even mended any broken bones if you ever had one. This is the powerful resource that I'm referring to. I'm mentioning it here because the subconscious mind is also the part of your mind that is engaged with and has influence over your immune system, which means that it may be possible. It may be possible if we do this properly, and do this properly is really the key here. It may be possible for us to tap into this resource and harness its power to enhance the functioning of your immune system so that your body can more readily and more rapidly recover. I really hope you can hear this loud and clear, because this insight is your gateway to a better treatment outcome, to the treatment outcome that you desire and hope for, to getting your health back on track. Your body, and that's just the truth, your body already has this immense innate ability to heal and recover. You don't have to build it up. You don't have to acquire it from someone else or some other place. You don't need to develop it. It's already, it's been there since day one, since the day you were born. But what you can do and need to do is learn how to allow this innate ability to flow freely and uninterrupted. If you understand this last statement, you will accept that your subconscious mental programming, right? Your subconscious mind is where your mental programming is. You will accept that your subconscious mental programming is your most powerful ally in your recovery process. And a good example for someone who accepted this as truth, someone who leveraged his subconscious mind because he realized that there's more to treatment and recovery than simply, just a visit to the doctor's office. That someone is Steve, who was diagnosed with cancer in his tonsils. When we first talked, Steve was understandably terrified of this new reality. He felt alone. He felt powerless. He was in pain. Being a professional singer, he felt crushed by the possible impact of his upcoming treatment, not to mention all the unknown that will follow. In other words, whether he'll be able to ever sing again, whether he'll be able to taste his favorite food ever again. I mean, he didn't really know. He didn't know, he was certainly afraid of the fact that he might not be able to tell his family in his own voice just how much he loved them. But following this very same 5-step plan that I'm outlining here, we were able to successfully address those subconscious patterns at the root of his suffering. Through our work together, we replaced those harmful beliefs, harmful patterns, with new and empowering ones. which allowed him to complete his 7.5 weeks of radiation with minimal side effects and high quality of life. It's a big deal. If you know anything about this procedure, well, the procedure that he endured, you will know that this was no small achievement. About a month after Steve completed his treatment, he got his all-clear announcement from his doctors. And he sent me this very sweet thank you note saying, "You were brave enough to climb into my head and help guide me on this journey. It gave me power when so much power has been taken away from me in the name of medicine. The doctor has just announced that my scan is clear and there is no sign of cancer." That is what we all want to hear. That's what we can all hope for, right? Now, obviously, the truth is that Steve was the one being courageous here, because it's important to say that his desire to recover was so much greater than all of his fears. It meant that unlike many patients who suffer quietly and in painful agony, or relying on powerful drugs to pull them through the day, Steve took deliberate and meaningful actions. He made this methodology work for him, and he got the results that he was hoping for. And you can only imagine just how thrilled his family was with this beautiful outcome. What I hope you take from Steve's case studies is that it's your potential for healing and recovery that deserves your respect. I'll say it again. It's your potential for healing and recovery that deserves your respect. It's not your self-doubts. It's not your fears or apprehensions. Your body is amazing. You just don't yet know what it's able to do. So hold on to hope. Give yourself some space to entertain the possibility of a better treatment outcome. Okay? Good. So now let me say this, because if you decided to attend this masterclass, it's likely that you have already tried all kind of practices to get your mind on board, right? Is that the right kind of assumption? Write in the comments below so that I'll know what you've tried so far, what gotten you to this point, please. And if you have tried getting your mind on board before with various practices, it's likely that you've tried one or more of the following common recommendations, which I call band-aids for lack of a better word. Like, for example, the fad diet of the month, whether it's fasting or going vegan, keto, alkaline, or anything else. Whether it's all kind of lifestyle upgrades, right, with certain routines, certain products and habits. Whether it's positive thinking, perhaps, meditation, maybe infrared sauna, maybe music therapy. Talk therapy is a big favorite of so many. Art therapy, maybe aromatherapy, crystals, and the list goes on and on. If you did try any of the above, I need you to hear me out here. I want to be very clear here before someone gets upset or fall into shame or anger or anything like that, because that's not my intention. I want to say that each of these recommendations is valuable, okay, and may even be meaningful and helpful to you. I certainly enjoy some of these activities myself, and I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't. But there's a gap here that you need to see and understand. And the gap is that at the end of the day, none of these activities alter your mental programming. None of them alter the mental program in your subconscious mind. It's just, well, they're not designed to do that, which means that those harmful and limiting beliefs that I mentioned earlier that feed your stress, right, your sense of overwhelm and despair and helplessness, all of these are still very much intact and active. That means that your immune system, or your immune response, I should say, will continue to diminish. And it means that your recovery will be slow. And that's a big problem, because consciously, you may feel you're doing all the right things, maybe even following your doctor's recommendation, but beneath the surface, subconsciously, you will still continue to run a very different mental program. A negative script, if you will, that will not allow your body to fully benefit, not from these activities, and not even from medical treatment, not even from medicine. And I'm sharing this here with you because there's actually a better way. And this better way starts with recognizing that physical symptoms are the tangible evidence of what goes on in your mind. Again, physical symptoms are the tangible evidence of what goes on in your mind. In other words, that our physiology perfectly reflects, if you will, the mental program that we are currently running in our subconscious mind. It's not the most comfortable thing for us to recognize, I will admit to that, and yet it's the truth. Unfortunately for us as human beings, we only become aware of what I can label as so-called faulty programming when something drastically changes in our lives or in our body, like illness, for example. So illness essentially is our mind's way of telling us that something needs to change. Something has to change. And that something is what we know about ourselves to be true through our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, perceptions, and behaviors. All of these together form our understanding of ourselves. It's what we call our self-concept. Okay, that's just kind of an umbrella term, the self-concept. When we change our self-concept, we update our mental programming, and since our mind and our body are interconnected, changing our self-concept and mental programming will change the biology associated with that mental programming. Does that make sense? And this will inevitably help our body restore that state of health, that state of balance. This is an elegant solution to the challenge that we're facing, because it means that your brain will begin to broadcast a different message through the body. Instead of stress biology, you will experience relief and resilience. You will feel empowered rather than depleted, and so will your immune system and every other biological system in your body. You will respond better to treatment, any treatment, and that's significant. Any activity or practice that does not address your self-concept and mental programming will just have little or temporary effect. I really hope you can hear that, because the danger is that you will feel like you're doing all the right things, but you will not get the right results. With this new way, you get to tap into your body's operating system, the original pharmacy, if you will, which is your subconscious mind, and you get to mobilize your body's innate ability to maintain balance and health. Can you see how empowering this new way is? It gives you both control and confidence, which are fundamental to your healing and recovery, as well as to your quality of life. And a great example for someone who did exactly that, someone who leveraged her mind and got better results, that someone is Karen. And Karen was diagnosed with breast cancer. But long before her diagnosis, she already struggled with all kinds of issues, including her body and body image. So once she learned from her doctor that she needed surgery, she knew it would be difficult for her, even painful, to face the damage that surgery and treatment in general will inflict on her body. She dreaded the idea of looking at a scar for the rest of her life, looking at a body that was altered this way. She was afraid of what it would mean in terms of relationships, in terms of intimacy, wondering if she'll ever feel attractive again or even find love. And Karen would have continued to struggle and suffer, but applying these principles that we're just going through our work together, yes, it required some work, it changed everything for her. And she was able to let go of her fears, of her shame and self-blame. And she proudly stated when we were done that she could see a future when she's feeling feminine again, attractive, worthy of living and worthy of love. In my book, it really doesn't get any better than that. Okay? So let's move forward. Let's see, what do we know to be true so far? We know that we can't fight cancer when we are fighting ourselves. We know that our subconscious mind is our greatest ally in the recovery process, in the recovery journey. It has to be on board. And we know that addressing our self-concept and mental programming can impact treatment outcome in a meaningful way in a more desirable kind of way, I should say. Right? So where does all this lead us to? It leads us to this important shift number 4, which states that a hybrid treatment plan can help ensure that you get the best possible treatment outcome too. I've seen it time and time again, and I believe that you, as a patient, you know better than anyone else that illness such as cancer, is a whole person event, right? It's multidimensional, which is why your treatment plan must be multidimensional as well, combining medical and non-medical practices. Again, from the vantage point of 20 years in practice, this is a distinction that I confidently draw. And this goes back to the core of this masterclass, which is that treating only the physical aspects of illness, which is what modern medicine is designed for, treating only the body without asserting your mind and personal power means that you're solving only one part of the healing equation. To be blunt, it means getting only partial results, possibly recurrences when we talk about cancer. Patients who opted to benefit from both traditional medicine as well as took steps to address themselves through integrative practices did better and got better results consistently. And that's the bottom line. In the words of Dr. David Spiegel of Stanford University School of Medicine, he says that many patients with cancer often seek some means of connecting their mental activity with the unwelcomed event occurring in their body via techniques such as imagery and hypnosis. Now, I'm sharing this here with you because the results of his 10-year follow-up with 86 participants of his study showed that this kind of work significantly increased their survival. This is exciting. This should excite you, not only because these methods are effective and can directly impact survival rate, but also because they are valuable to you. You have the opportunity to put these tools to work for you and not rely only or wait anxiously for your next medical appointment. Does that make sense? Treatment, and you don't need me to tell you, treatment can be scary at times. So the right hybrid plan, treatment plan, I should say, and the right expert to guide you through, that's key to successfully removing all the stress away, all the fear, to put you back in control. I really hope that you can hear that. And this leads us forward because I feel it's important for me to tell you that you shouldn't go at it alone, that you should not improvise your way through the scary maze of cancer on your own and without a roadmap. Obviously, this is not a brand new kind of an idea. When you think about athletes, for example, who want to improve their performance, what do? They get a coach. Someone who wants to play, let's say, a musical instrument better. Someone who wants to learn how to bake better, drive their car better, or anything else better. They all find a mentor or a coach or a teacher to show them how. Right? And it's the truth here as well. It's the truth here as well. If you really want to improve your ability to heal and recover, to get better at getting better outcome, you need to partner with a mentor or a coach who can show you how. Because going at it alone means that fear, despair, and negativity will continue to paralyze you. It means that stress, shame, guilt, and self-blame will continue to cripple your progress. It means that you'll drown in anger. And you will struggle daily with thoughts, maybe even thoughts about death. And you'll unintentionally, that's important to say, find yourself stuck in helplessness and hopelessness, which we know through research, again, diminish the functioning of your immune system and therefore diminishing your ability to properly heal. Look, the role of a mentor or a coach is to help you accelerate your healing and recovery by showing you a clearer path forward with fewer obstacles, fewer distractions. That's the bottom line. It's exactly what you need. Because your medical team may be the most amazing team in the world, but they're often busy treating lots of other patients at one time. And by that, I mean they cannot fully personalize everything to you. That's just the reality of it. So If you really want to, if you want that exponential improvement in your ability to heal and recover, don't let yourself down. Or, as one of my mentors used to say, love yourself enough to do this. Knowledge does not lead to results. Only actions lead to results. No ebook or a YouTube channel or even a week-long workshop can teach you how to do this. Your recovery, it requires something more. The bottom line is that you invest in coaching because you want someone in your corner who will not only support you, but someone that will hold you accountable as well. Help make sure that you do the things that you already know that are good for you so that you can get the kind of results that you want consistently. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Okay? Good. So, now that we've gone over these 5 shifts and you understand their value and power, now you have a choice. You can either forget everything I've said so far, keep trying to find your way through the dark maze of cancer treatment, stressing, worrying, second-guessing yourself, self-sabotaging not to mention, and riding this scary roller coaster of treatment, even though that means a lot more suffering. Or you can take what I've said to heart and step forward with confidence, with a system that's proven effective over many, many years for many, many people. So you can truly feel supported. You can feel certain again because you have an action plan or a roadmap, if you will, to breaking away from fear and getting back to spending quality time with the people that you love, so that you can be that role model to others, be that beacon of strength, not that person, that someone that everyone has to tiptoe around. And the choice is, of course, yours. If the latter is what you want, then here is how I can help. I've set aside some time in the next 48 hours to speak to you personally about how you can integrate these shifts we just gone over into your treatment plan. Whatever challenge you are facing, I know how to support you. I've done this now for, just over 20 years. We will get on the phone for about 45 minutes, and on this call, we'll focus on the 3 things that you can do right now to maximize your ability to heal and recover and get your medical treatment work for you. That's what we're here for. Focusing on these 3 items alone can help dramatically shift your experience in the most meaningful kind of way, regardless of where you are right now. And yes, there is no cost to this call. That's true, the call is free, but there is a catch. And the catch is that it's just not for everyone. I only have few daily time slots available. So let me tell you who this is for so that we're clear on that as well. This call is for you if you are motivated, coachable, and ready to get your health back on track. Not just interested, but decisively committed. This call is for you if you understand, and you probably do already, that illness is a significant challenge that requires a significant action on your part. Okay? And of course, you need to acknowledge that change is needed. And it's needed now. These are the kind of people that I support, that I like to support. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this, why I'm giving away 45 minutes of my time for free, the answer is simple. First of all, I had my fair share of cancer loss in my family. So I know what you mean to those who love you. I really do. More to the point of the work outlined in this masterclass, though, I know what it's like to fight inner battles. Just like the battle that you're fighting right now in your mind for hope and for a bright future. As an Army veteran myself, I've been there many times. And there's really no greater purpose for me at this point in my life than to help guide you out of this dark forest of fear toward those open fields of hope, certainty, and confidence. And last but not least, you might be ready to take some meaningful action. And I'm fully transparent about it, about my goal. My goal is to be there for you, support you, and help you get to that breakthrough. So ultimately, this call will help us both figure out if we're a good fit or not. If not, that's perfectly fine too. That is my truth. And if my truth resonates with you, then I invite you to set up a call with me now, which is really easy to do. Simply go to the link that you see in front of you, avinoamlerner.com/apply. avinoamlerner.com/apply. I'm going to try to make a little button appear on the side of the screen, a button that will allow you to directly sign up for that call. If you see that button, it's an orange button, just click it and it will take you to my calendar page. You will see all the available appointment time right there. Grab the day and time that work best for you. Then there's about 5 to 6 questions that I would like you to answer so that we can save some time, right? And get right to it when we talk. That's basically it. I will get on a call with you at the time and day that you have picked. Okay? We'll simply have a heart-to-heart conversation, which hopefully will be the most valuable time you've recently spent on your recovery. I'm very much looking forward to it. So go to avinoamlerner.com/apply, and I will speak with you very soon.